Cloud. Okay, we're going. This is the July 31st edition of SIG CLI's meeting. I'm Sean Sullivan. I'm co-chair of SIG CLI. I'll take some notes today. So let's start with the announcements. It's the only announcement I have is the same one we had last week, which is just to prepare for KubeCon North America in San Diego on the 18th to the 21st of November. We should have a chance for all of us to get together and see each other face to face for whoever can make that that convention. Does anyone else have any announcements they would like to share with the group?
Hey,
No?
Sean, this is Ahmed.
Hi, Ahmed.
Presenting your Gmail. Are you aware?
I'm sorry?
You're presenting your Gmail.
Oh, whoops. Let's see. Stop share. And share screen. How about that? Is that still my Gmail?
That's the agenda now.
It's the agenda.
Okay. Sorry about that. So moving on to the test grid. Our test coverage, or sorry, our test grid, I'll open it up for us very quickly. There are a few errors. We were able to get GKE, the GKE tests to work, although there are obviously two that are continually failing. I know what the problem is, and it's the way that GKE builds kubectl. But the most of the other tabs look good. Let's have another quick look at. Yeah, so most of the tests are green. There, as I mentioned, there are one or two particular tests, and I know what the problem is. There's not a easy fix for it. So that's our test grid. And so why don't we move on to the topics? I think the first topic will be Jingfeng talking about CLI experimental and CLI utils.
Sure, let me present my screen.
Okay, I'll stop sharing.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, so this is about the work we have done in CLI experimental. In the past few months, we have developed the pruning support, status support, as well as the dynamic commands in CLI experimental. And we added a lot of tests and also some documentations. And now, since many people have been waiting for the status or pruning work, and we want to graduate the work we have done in the CLI experimental into CLI utils repo, so people can start to use it. And right now, the CLI utils repo is empty, and we created several months ago. When it was created, the purpose of this repo is to contain binaries that's built from other CLI libraries. So here is one difference between this purpose and now the move of CLI experimental. So since we couldn't move the library in CLI experimental into CLI runtime because of dependency conflicts, and also since Sean is working on moving kubectl into staging, So if we move CRI experimental binary libraries into CRI runtime, so it will introduce more complexity for Sean's work. So we plan to move current code from the experimental to CRI util, including both binaries and libraries. So once we move the code here, we will have the binary with a new name. Excuse me. And this binary will have several subcommands for apply, delete, status, prune, as well as dynamic commands. So right now, we haven't decided the final name of this binary. We have some candidate names like KUtils, like KCFG, and KApply and KTL or KCTL. I can add those names on the doc. So we want to have the community's opinion on those names to make sure we have a good name that makes sense to everybody. And since Marche is on vacation, we also want him to take a look and excuse me, give his approval on the final name. So I will add the names in the doc so everybody can have a look. Any questions?
So if you get the opportunity, please have a look at least on the README of these two repositories. These are going to be very important to how SIG CLI moves forward in order to organize not just binaries but libraries to accomplish our mission of these CLI tools and CLI libraries. Okay, let's see if I could get this back. Okay, so back to our agenda. So the next topic is going to be on kubectl independence, which is our effort to move kubectl out of Kubernetes core and into its own repository. And the intermediate step is to move kubectl code, specifically package kubectl, into staging, which publishes into the kubectl repository. So actually we've got about half of the Go files moved now. And what I wanted to announce was that we're going to be doing a very large PR within the next couple days, probably trying to merge this weekend during a slow period of all of the command code that's under package kubectl command right here. There's going to be well over close to 200 files that will be migrated. So how this affects you is if you're doing any coding that conflicts with package kubectl command, please note that that you should try to get this in as soon as possible, because otherwise you're going to have a merge conflict. And if you have any questions, please contact me through Slack or through email, or however you can contact me to let me know if you do have code that conflicts or a PR that conflicts, and I'll help merge it through before we do this very large move. Does anybody have any questions on the kubectl independence effort or this upcoming large PR? Okay, moving on. So I'm hoping to, let's have a quick stand-up for all of our sub-projects or possible sub-projects. Jingfeng, can we start with Customize? Is there any updates on Customize?
Yes, I'm happy to give an update on Customize. So in the past week, we released a new version 3.1.0 for Customize. If you click that link, you will see the release note for this version. And there are two major changes in this release. One is the extended patch, which is a new feature. So previously in Customize, you can only patch one object by one patch file. So with this extended patch, you can patch multiple objects by one patch file. So the targets or the objects, you can select them by either name or namespace, or by type, or by label selectors or annotations. So the patch itself can be either strategic merge patch or JSON patch. So depending on the format of the content, so Customize automatically detect which type of the patch it is. So that is one major change. The other is related to a lot of enhancements on name matching when we do various transformations. For example, like when we apply the patch, or we resolve the variables, or we resolve the name references. Since the resources can have different name prefix, different name suffix, or namespace. So one of our contributors made a lot of improvements on those name matching. Now it can work better and support different use cases. Mainly that's it. I think now we have some other work in progress. Another thing that is related to patch is the inline patch. So previously you can only use the patch file, which is another file separate from the customization.yaml file. Now you can put that patch content into the customization.yaml file as an inline string. Now Customize can read this whole string and parse it as a patch. So this will be included in the next release. Okay, that's it. Any questions?
Thanks, Jingfeng.
Sure.
I'm going to move on. If there isn't any questions, I'll move on to kubectl. And there really isn't much other to report other than the independence effort, which is the culmination of a years-long effort to move kubectl out of Kubernetes core and into its own repo. We're about 50% complete, and we've got that large PR coming up within the next couple of days, probably merging this weekend. So that's about all I had. It looks like, Ahmet, you have quite a bit to report for crew.
Hey, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, my camera is not working. Yeah, not a whole lot of updates. So in the past couple of weeks, we actually pretty much rewrote the entire plugin upgrade machinery. We had to use semantic versions so that all plugins actually have to report their semantic version number, so we can determine whether an update is like a forward update or a backwards. And then we've done a lot of code reviews, so we're like down to 0 PRs. It was like from something like 15. We're still working through the backlog, and there are now 42 plugins in the index, and 11 more are waiting to get in, and 6 of them are blocked for one reason or another. That's pretty much it.
Okay, great. Looks like somebody from the CUI team is here.
Yep. Hey, sorry I joined a little late. Dental cleaning this morning.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. And last time, sorry, we skipped the meeting. There's a conflict. So we've made a bunch of good progress on CUI. I started typing. I'll convey the rest orally, and I'll type in the rest when I'm done speaking. But we've had pretty good progress on the uptick front. I've sort of tried to have a constant release of blogs. I've skipped a few weeks here because we've had some pressure internally. But we've also had some design help. So when you download this latest release, you'll see there's a pretty nice new dark theme and a light theme. They're much nicer than the old themes. We've been continuing to work on fleshing out the core support. So Helm Get, for example, now has a nice UI around it. And things like that. We've done a bunch of things on the core to make the core operations much nicer. And the last big news is that we have a second team onboarding. So the first team was the research team at IBM, just to help us out with theming and just release management. But we have a second big team onboarding now for our productization efforts. So that will hopefully help us in robustifying all the processes and the core support around it.
Excellent. Well, we've gone through our agenda pretty quickly today. We didn't have apparently we had what, 7 of us, so there really wasn't a whole lot of us. So what I was going to do for the next couple minutes before signing off early was to just introduce everybody, since we do have such a small set of people today. If anybody wants to say hi and introduce themselves, this is the opportunity for that. I'll start off. I'm Sean Sullivan, co-chair of SIG CLI, working at Google. Most of my efforts have been in kube control. Anybody care to go next?
I'll go next. My name is Ahmed Balkan. I'm also at Google. I worked on projects like Crew and QCTX and Kubernetes, if you're familiar with those. And in general, I work on various developer tooling.
I'm Nick. I work at IBM in the research division. Been working on CUI, basically tooling and UIs. So I think, I'm happy to help with any sort of user experience issues generally around the core of our tooling.
Excellent.
I can go next. I'm Jingfang Liu. I work at Google. I'm in the same team as Sean. The majority of my time, I'm working on customize, which is to customize Kubernetes resources config. And it is quite popular now. And if you want to try it, you can look at our examples and docs, very straightforward to understand and use. And I'm also working on the project is CLI experimental, mainly focusing on prune and apply in that project.
Anybody else want to say hello?
Hi, this is Richard Marshall. I work at the Ask Media Group. Primarily my focus right now when it comes to this context is helping out with Kustomize. Just trying to do what I can to help make that project work a little bit better for folks.
Thanks, Richard. Cool. Well, if that's all we have for now, I'm gonna close it early. And we appreciate you showing up, and hopefully we'll have a better attendance once all the vacations are over. Maybe we'll have to wait until September to start getting better attendance. But appreciate you guys showing up. And is there anything anybody else wants to share with us before we sign off? Nope. Okay. Have a good day.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.